Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial. This segment's being brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. I'm doing a series of spotlights on remarkable business intermediaries and brokers from across the country. And joining me on this segment is Jay Whitney. He's the founder of Childcare Brokers. Jay, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you. Good to be here.
Jay, tell us a little bit about Childcare Brokers, and specifically, who are those folks that you help?
Well, it is probably 80% of the people are child care centers. I also do other businesses also, but 80% are child care center people who want to buy or people who want to sell a child care center. And I'm a little bit different than 99% of all brokers, because all brokers basically charge a large commission to sell a business. And I did that for many years until I realized that 80% of all child care center owners, and really all business owners, are sold not using a business broker. It's where a seller may know of several buyers, or the buyer contacts the owner individually and says, you may not be listed for sale, but if you're interested in selling, I'm interested in buying. And that's how 80% of the deals happen. And if that happens, they're not going to bring in a broker who's going to charge a 9 to 10% fee. They're just not. So I saw a niche where people who need help, professional help, and they're going to they want to pay an hourly consulting fee versus a large business broker fee. And I can help them through that entire transaction. If it's a seller, what's the value that they should, what price should they offer? And if it's a buyer, making sure that they don't overpay. And, helping either party through the entire deal, but from a consulting side where my fees on an hourly consulting basis are usually 75 to 90% less than a typical business broker fee, which my clients like, because if the seller doesn't have to pay a large business broker fee, for example, say they wouldn't sell for less than $1 million because they had to pay a 10% broker fee and net 900,000. Well, they are more than willing to sell it for 900,000, and so a deal is much more likely to happen and happen sooner. So that's how I do it.
That's a fascinating business model. How did you come to specialize in specifically majority child care centers as 80% of your business? Are you from that industry, or tell us about that?
Well, about 20 years ago, I was working with a client who wanted to buy a child care center. So I did a search and I sent out letters to a bunch of child care center owners saying, if you want to sell, I have a client that wants to buy. And this client made an offer on, we looked at a bunch of centers, and he made an offer on several, and he bought one. But one of the ones that he did not buy said, Jay, you know my business better than anyone. Better than my CPA, anyone. I want you to sell it. So I sold that second one, and then it kind of snowballed. So I have over the years helped buyers buy and sell over 100 child care centers and have done over 200 business valuations. 4 centers And then also I act as a loan broker for childcare centers. So I know the lenders that will lend money to the childcare center industry at low interest rates. So I do that also.
That's fascinating. So do you also do the traditional business brokerage service, or is it purely on a consulting basis now?
It is purely on a consulting basis. Uh, you know, with as a broker, your real estate license, and you're licensed in a specific state. When I started my consulting, I have this expertise that it applies to all the states. So really, I have a national practice versus a Georgia practice.
So with this, this whole series was inspired by the headlines that read "The Great Resignation." A lot of people wanting to have their own business, so which brings a lot of buyers out to the market. How's that affected what you do? Have you seen more buyers interested in buying businesses, childcare centers? And what has this been doing for the sellers that you know? What kind of buzz has this great resignation caused for you?
Well, the childcare center industry is an industry that was significantly affected by the COVID. And there's a lot that closed down. The ones that are open are doing well, often doing well. So buyers are interested in buying the childcare centers. And sellers are interested in selling because a lot of them, they went through the recession of 2008-9, and then they went through COVID, and they're just ready. A lot of them. I had recently done a search for one buyer where she looked at centers, couldn't find a good one, and came to me and said, "Jay, find me one." So we sent out letters to 400 owners, and got, of those 400 owners, 25 of them responded and said, "We want to sell." None of them were listed for sale.
Wow. Jay, tell us, take us back a little bit more. I mean, before you even started the consulting side of the business, what inspired you to get into the field altogether in helping business owners sell? How did you get started?
Well, my background is as a CPA, controller, CFO, MBA, that type corporate background. And I was working for a company, and the owner's son took my position. And I thought, okay, I'm going to start my own business, doing CFO work, helping people get financing, which is what I did in the corporate world. And I got financing for an acquisition. And that's when I decided to add mergers and acquisitions to my practice. And it's a good niche for me because I have a strong accounting and financial background, and there's a lot of brokers that are great salespeople, but they're not strong in finance, accounting and finance. And they may sell it, they may get a buyer to agree, but then in the due diligence process, a lot of deals fail because they failed to prepare before it went to sale. And that's an expertise in preparing things, getting let's find out all about it from a buyer's point of view before buyers look at it. Because my job, if I'm helping the seller, my job is not to sell your business right now. My job is really to say, okay, here are several things that I see that if you do, you could increase the value of your business over the next year or whatever period and sell for a much higher amount. And being paid on a consulting side, it makes sense for me to do that and help them. And it benefits them greatly. If I was just paid a commission, no one paying a commission salesperson says that they're going to lose a commission. Basically.
Gotcha. Jay, for folks listening to the program that would be interested in connecting with you, how can they find you and learn more?
Well, my website is www.childcarebrokers.com. And then my website for non-childcare is www.bizacquisition.com. And my telephone number is 770-410-7582.
That is terrific, Jay. Fascinating, and I really appreciate you taking the time to share with my audience today really some unique information. I wish you continued success for you and for all of your consulting clients.
Thank you very much. And you too.
That was Jay Whitney, the founder of Childcare Brokers, and this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books published so they can educate their consumers, grow their practices, and leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.